So what exactly is that category of 19th century painting referred to as Orientalism? We certainly recognize it when we see it. Here we have Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres, 1814, Le Grand Odalisque. You look at her turban, the exquisite fabric, the feather fan and the hookah, and they all contribute to a sense of dreamy exoticism of an imagined northern Africa or the Middle East. And 50 years later, at the age of 82, Ingres would push the edge of a highly voyeuristic imagined Orientalist erotics in his 1862 Les Bains Turcs, or the Turkish bath. There are whole worlds in that painting, but if you want to understand Orientalism, notice I keep using the word imagined. Ingres never traveled to Turkey or anywhere in the Middle East or North Africa, and that's a key to understanding Orientalism. These are imagined scenes. What Ingres did have were the extraordinarily vivid letters of Lady Mary Wortley Montagu, written 100 years earlier, describing her travels in the Ottoman Empire beginning in 1716. Published in 1763, they became instant bestsellers and fueled the imagination of generations of poets and painters. She writes to a friend in 1717, "I've now got into a whole new world where everything I see appears to me a change of scene. I went to the baths about 10 o'clock. It was already full of women. It is built of stone in the shape of a dome with no windows, but in the roof which gives enough light through. The room is very large, one paved with marble, and all round it raised two sofas of marble, one above the other. There were 4 fountains of water in this room, falling first into marble basins, then running onto the floor in little channels made for that purpose. The first sofas were covered with cushions and rich carpets on which sat the ladies, and on the second, there behind them, but without any distinction of rank by their dress, since all were stark naked, each woman walked and moved with the same majestic grace which Milton describes of Eve. So many women naked in different postures, some in conversation, others drinking coffee or eating sherbet or languishing on cushions, while others braided their hair. They generally visit once a week and stay at least 4 or 5 hours. The many artists we don't usually think of as Orientalist occasionally enter that dreamy world. When you think of Bouguereau, you think of his realistic portraits of life in Provence, or his super stylized Madonnas, or Orestes hounded by the Furies, or an allegorical night scene that feels like it poured out of a dream, or a Venus figure rising up from the sea. But Bouguereau did paint Orientalist works. Here's a young woman selling pomegranates, not particularly stunning, but Bouguereau must have caught some kind of fire because his second attempt at it is a masterpiece. When we think of Renoir, we think of life exuding, intensely social outdoor scenes, or his incredibly sensual sense of the exuberance and playfulness and beauty of women. As far as I know, Renoir only tried his hand at Orientalism once. I love Renoir, but this is a dreadful painting. What worked for Bouguereau did not work for Renoir. But here are some Orientalist paintings that do get it right. And finally, an 18th century portrait of Lady Mary Wortley Montagu, whose travel letters had quite an impact through the years.
Thank you for watching. If you like this, please check out and subscribe. It's brand new, but it's about the history and psychology of crime, about detective fiction, about literature, and about the visual arts.
I love making videos about subjects I've thought about for decades. I'll explore the way classical mythology continually spills into the modern world. I've already released videos about Medusa, Danae, and Andromeda as part of the Mythology Now series, and Pandora and Persephone are coming soon. Then it's Judith and Holofernes and Salome in painting. And then I turn to angels. Then it's a review of the essential top 10 true crime books. And then something fun and fascinating about Dashiell Hammett, the pulp magazine Black Mask, and the birth of hard-boiled detective fiction and film noir. And then it's on to Edward Hopper and fabulous Picasso. So please subscribe. There's a lot on the way.